Now, I know that I talk a lot about wage slavery. I get it. And every time that I do, people ask me the same thing. Why do you keep making basically the same video over and over again? Because people still don't get it. No matter how many times I explain it, most people think that work is normal, that it's fair, that it's freedom. But the truth is, people are just following the norm. They've been taught since childhood not to question it. Go to school, get a job, work until you're too old to live. That's the script. And almost no one stops to ask, why? History, however, tells a very different story, a darker one. A story that shows how unnatural our modern way of working really is. And that's what we're going to talk about today, the dark history of work. Oh, and by the way, if this kind of perspective makes you think differently about work, subscribe now. This is just the beginning. So, picture the first humans, small bands of people huddled in caves, protecting themselves from the cold winds, the rain, and the predators. They didn't live in cities or suburbs or offices. They lived in the shadows of stone. Their clothes weren't suits or uniforms. They wrapped themselves in animal skins, in the carcasses of creatures they had hunted, just to stay alive. Every action was tied to survival. Gathering berries, hunting an animal, making fire, shaping stone into tools. There were no spreadsheets, no pointless meetings, no 8-hour schedules. And when the hunt was over, when the fire was burning, life slowed down. There was no entertainment in the way we think of it today. Their art was the flicker of firelight dancing on cave walls. And their only canvas was rock. They painted animals, they painted hunts, they painted dreams. Now, when we think about that time, we sort of imagine their lives as endless suffering. But the truth is more complicated. Yes, they worked when they had to, but they also rested when they could. Their existence moved in cycles: hunger and feast, struggle and rest. And here's the part that should stop us in our tracks, because in some ways they had more freedom than we do today. They didn't wake up every day to the same alarm. They didn't sell their best years of their lives to some boss they didn't care about. If a caveman had suggested that everyone should gather every morning and sit in the same place for 8 hours, day after day, year after year, the tribe wouldn't have called it a career. They would have called it madness, and probably killed the caveman suggesting it. Now, fast forward to ancient Egypt. Okay, I know, I mentioned Egypt so many times in my videos that it's almost hilarious at this point. But there is a reason for this, I swear. I can't stop seeing the odd similarity between their world and ours.